All right, so this is general knowledge practice test one. I just want to let you know I do have my CDL in Texas. I got it recently in October. This is for the new laws and regulations in 2025. So let's go ahead and start. General knowledge practice test one. Your emergency kit does not need to include a spare jacket. The answer is a spare jacket. If the engine is not overheated, is it completely safe to remove the radiator cap? No. The answer is no. While driving at night, which lights should you use as often as you can? The high beams is the answer. Before transporting a sealed load, you must check that you do not exceed gross weight or axle weight limits. The answer is that you do not exceed gross weight or axle weight limits. You should inspect wheel bearing seals for leaks. The answer is leaks. Which of the following statements about an escape ramp is false? It is not useful if you are traveling too fast. The answer is it is not useful if you are traveling too fast. If you just reached freezing, which of the following areas may be slippery? A wet looking road, a bridge, a shaded area, or all of the above? The answer is all of the above. How many tie downs are required for a 20-foot load? 2. In snow and ice, you should reduce your speed by half. The answer is half. What happens when the tar heats up? It makes the road more slippery. The answer is it makes the road more slippery. For an average commercial vehicle being driven at 55 miles per hour on a dry pavement, it will take about more than the length of a football field to bring the vehicle to a stop. The answer is more than the length of a football field. You are driving on a 2-lane road. An oncoming driver drifts into your lane and is headed straight for you. Which of these is generally the best action? Steer to the right. The answer is steer to the right. You are checking your brakes and suspension system for a pre-trip inspection. Which of these statements is true? Brake shoes should not be worn dangerously thin. Brake pads should not have brake fluid on them. One missing leaf in a leaf spring can be dangerous. All answers are correct and true. The answer is all answers are correct and true. Which of these can cause a fire? Underinflated tires, loose fuel connections, electrical short circuits? All answers are correct. The answer is all answers are correct. According to the driver's manual, why should you limit the use of your horn? The answer is it can startle other drivers. Inspect your cargo after you have driven 50 miles. The answer is 50 miles. There are 3 types of vehicle inspections. Which one is one of them? Pre-trip, en route, post-trip? All the answers are correct. The answer is all the answers are correct. The basic 2 reasons to cover your cargo are 1, to protect the cargo from the weather, and 2, protect people from spilled cargo, protect the roadway from spilled cargo, protect vehicle following you from spilled cargo. All answers are correct. The answer is all answers are correct. The amount of liquid to load into a tank depends on the amount of liquid that will expand in a transit, the weight of the liquid, the legal weight limits. All answers are correct. The answer is all answers are correct. You should stop driving when you become sleepy. The answer is when you become sleepy. You do not have hazardous materials endorsements on your commercial driver's license. When you drive a vehicle hauling hazardous materials, only when the vehicle does not require placards. The answer is only when the vehicle does not require placards. Which of these statements about certain types of cargo is true? Unstable loads such as hanging meat or livestock require extra caution on curves. The answer is unstable loads such as hanging meat or livestock require extra caution on curves. You are traveling down a long, steep hill. Your brakes get so hot they fail. What should you do? Look for an escape ramp or escape route. The answer is look for an escape ramp or an escape route. What should you do when your vehicle hydroplanes? Release the accelerator. The answer is release the accelerator. Under loaded front axles can cause the following: poor traction. The answer is poor traction. A driver's grid log, if required, must be shown immediately when an officer requests it. The answer is must be shown immediately when the officer requests it. The parking brake should be tested while the vehicle is parked. The answer is parked. A moving vehicle ahead of you has a red triangle with an orange center of the rear. What does this mean? It may be a slow-moving vehicle. The answer is it may be a slow-moving vehicle. Your vehicle is in a traffic emergency and may collide with another vehicle if you do not act. Which of these is a good rule to remember at such a time? Heavy vehicles can almost always turn more quickly than they can stop. The answer is heavy vehicles can almost always turn more quickly than they can stop. Which of these statements about brakes is true? The heavier a vehicle or the faster it is moving, the more heat the brakes must absorb to stop it. The answer is the heavier a vehicle or the faster it is moving, the more heat the brakes must absorb to stop it. Which of these statements about brakes is true? The heavier a vehicle or the faster it is moving, the more heat the brakes must absorb it to stop it. The new BAC, or blood alcohol concentration for commercial drivers to be considered intoxicated when driving a commercial vehicle, is 0.04. The answer is 0.04. Axle weight means the following: the weight transmitted to the ground by one axle or one set of axles. The answer is the weight transmitted to the ground by one axle or one set of axles. You are driving a 40-foot vehicle at 45 miles per hour. Driving conditions are ideal. What is the least amount of space that you should keep in front of your vehicle to be safe? The answer is 5 seconds. The answer is 5 seconds. If a vehicle continues to drive in your blind spot, you should back off. The answer is back off. Which of the following statements about crossing or entering traffic with heavy vehicle is true? Heavy vehicles need larger gaps in the traffic than cars. The answer is heavy vehicles need larger gaps in traffic than cars. Which of the following statements about driving in areas with two winds is true? Winds are especially a problem when coming out of tunnels. The answer is winds are especially a problem when coming out of tunnels. The formula for stopping distance with air brakes is perception distance, reaction distance, brake lag distance, and effective braking distance. The answer is perception distance, reaction distance, brake lag distance, and effective braking distance. Front end header boards protect you from your cargo in case of collision and block the forward movement of your cargo. The answer is protect you from cargo in case of collision and block the forward movement of your cargo. If you are convicted for driving under the influence while driving a commercial vehicle, and this is your first offense, you will most likely get at least 1 year suspension on your CDL. The answer is 1 year suspension on your CDL. You must park on the side of a level, straight, 2-lane road. Which should you choose? Where should you place the 3 reflective triangles? One within 10 feet of the rear of the vehicle, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 100 feet from the front of the vehicle. The answer is one within 10 feet of the rear of the vehicle, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 100 feet from the front of the vehicle. The distance that you should look ahead of your vehicle while driving amounts to about a quarter mile at highway speed. The answer is a quarter mile at highway speed. The most common cause of serious vehicle skids is driving too fast for road conditions. The answer is driving too fast for road conditions. What is the average reaction distance? 61 feet. The answer is 61 feet. Which is not one of the 4 basic skills that operating a commercial motor vehicle requires? First aid certification. The answer is first aid certification. How can you start moving without rolling backward? Engage the clutch before removing your foot from the brake. Apply the trailer brake hand valve. Set the parking brake whenever necessary. Do all of the above. The answer is do all of the above. Which of the following is a key steering component? Gearbox. The answer is gearbox. Which of these is the proper use of a vehicle, lights, and flashers? Turning on your headlights during the day when visibility is reduced due to the rain or snow? Flashing your brake lights to warn someone behind you of a hazard that will require slowing down? Flashing your brake lights to warn someone behind you that you are going to stop on the road? All answers are correct. The answer is all answers are correct. The safety release valve is located on the air tanks and is issued by a self-operated when the air pressure is above 150 psi. The answer is self-operated when the air pressure is above 150 psi. High beams should be used whenever it is safe and legal to do so. The answer is used whenever it is safe and legal to do so. When you stop for a break during your trip, you should check critical items such as tires, brakes, and cargo tie-downs. The answer is check critical items such as tires, brakes, and cargo tie-downs. This is general knowledge practice test 1 of 8.